Hello everyone, welcome to Augmentech. In this session, we will be learning about DataTime functionality in Pandas. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand Pandas dates, create a range of dates, convert string to datetime, change the date frequency, bdate underscore range, datetime format, extract datetime into different columns, and assemble datetime from different columns. I'm excited to get started and I hope the same from you. Let's get started with Pandas dates. Extending the time series date functionalities play a major role in financial data analysis. While working with date data, we will frequently come across the following, that is generating sequence of dates and convert the date series to different frequencies. Let's get started with create a range of dates. So using the date.range function by specifying the periods and the frequency, we can create the date series. By default, the frequency of range is days. So here we first import pandas as PD, and then to the pd.date underscore range function, we pass the date as well as the value to periods. So there we go. We get 5 days because here we specified the periods value to be 5 starting from the specified date. And you can see the frequency here is capital D. So here capital D is the notation of date. Capital D here stands for day frequency. Now let's see how to convert string to date time. So Pandas has built-in function called to underscore date time that converts the date and time in string format to date time object. So there we go. Here we first import pandas as PD, numpy as np, and then we also import datetime method from the datetime module by writing from datetime import datetime. Datetime is the module name as well as datetime is a method or class inside the datetime module, and then we do pd.data frame. Here we create two columns, one is date, the other is patience, and if you see the date here is actually in the form of string that is inside quotations. And if I have to convert this date column to actual date time, I can say df of column name equals pd dot to underscore date time and then specify the date column to the data frame. So there we go. You see, this is how the actual date inside the date column looks like. Now let's see how to change the date frequency. So we can change the date frequency by specifying the frequency alias. Like we can specify the value for the date, the periods, and the frequency. So frequency D was a frequency for the day, and let's see what is the frequency M stands for. So frequency M here is month and frequency. Now let's see what is bdate underscore range. So here the bdate underscore range function or method stands for business date ranges. Unlike date underscore range includes Saturdays and date underscore range, or this bdate underscore range excludes the Saturdays and Sundays, and it will be only covering the weekdays. So we first import pandas as a PD and then specify date to the date range along with the period. Specify it will also reply us with, it will return us the frequency as well as the date from the specified date to the value for periods. Then let's see what is datetime format. So by default, to underscore datetime function parses string with month first format, that is month, day, and year. You can check your datetime format using the argument format. So here I can say pd.to date time and then data frame of date, that is the name of the column, then format equals to your date time format. So this will automatically take the date time format either in the form of year, month and day, or month, day, or year. Now let's see how to extract datetime into different columns. So pandas datetime object has following built-in attributes. dt.year is used to get the year, dt.month is used to get the month, dt.get is used to get the day, dt.week is to get the week of the year, then dt.day of week to get the day of week, And lastly, dt.is leap year is to get the leap year. So when we have a specified date column, we can extract year, month, and day, and then we can actually add these values into separate columns. We can also get the week of year, day of week, and is leap year. So you can see it creates all of the columns extracting the respective month, day, week of year, day of week, leap year, year, month, day from the specified date. Now let's see how to assemble datetime from different columns. So here we can use the toDateTime function to assemble datetime from multiple columns as well. So the key column labels can be common abbreviations here. So here we create a data frame having columns like year, month, and day, and then we can actually assemble or combine them to form a column known as date, which should assemble all this column year, month, day, and display the date in a proper format. Now let's hop to Jupyter Notebook and check out the example of Pandas DataTime functionality. I'll see you there. Now here I'm on the Jupyter Notebook. I'm going to create a new Python notebook and let's name this as Pandas DataTime functionality. And let's specify the heading as Pandas date time functionality. Now let's see how to create a range of dates. So I'm going to write a markdown here to say create range of dates. So here using date underscore range function, it's date dot range function, not underscore, by specifying the periods and frequency values, we can actually create the date series. So here also we can create date series. And now let me first import pandas as PD. So here I say import pandas as PD and let's say PD dot date underscore range, to which I'm going to pass a date, let's say 01/01/2023, and I'm also going to specify the periods. Let's say it is 5. And let's run and check. There we go. You see here we get the date time index. So it's actually returning the date from the specified date, that is 1. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because the value of periods here is 5 and the frequency here is the day. So frequency of range by default here is days. Now what if I have to change the date frequency? So here I say a markdown as change date frequency so this is a markdown. So here I say pd dot date underscore range and then 01/01/2023. You can pass any date you want here. Let's say the periods again is 5 and I'm simply going to change the frequency to M. So there we go. You see the frequency has been changed to M, that stands for month end. So there we go. You see what actually happens here. It's actually returning the dates from the month end. If you notice here, it is 31st of Jan, 28th of Feb, 31st of March, 30th of April, and 31st of May. Now let's see what is B date range. So this B date range actually stands for, let me change this to a markdown. It's business dates or business date ranges. Here I say it excludes Saturdays and Sundays. So here I'm gonna do pd dot b date underscore range, to which I'm gonna pass the same 01 / 01 / 2023, and then specify the periods as 5, and let's go and check, and there we go. This is actually returning the business date range. So it starts from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because 1 here is actually Sunday, so it is actually excluding Sunday here. All right. Now to our date underscore range function, we can actually specify the start and stop. So here I do import pandas as pd, and then I'm gonna say start equals and end equals, let's say this is date range. So this is not date range, this is date time, to which I'm gonna pass the date time. So here I'm gonna say pd dot date time, pd dot date time, to which I'm gonna pass some date, and then here I see something like 2023, 1, 1, and then 2023, 1, 8. And then here I say pd dot date underscore range, to which I'm going to pass the start and the stop. So here I say start, stop, and there we go. This actually gives me some warning and error as well. So yep. So here it is end and not stop, and there we go. This actually gives me the output where the frequency is D, that is the days, and it returns first of all the months starting from 1 to 8, that is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. So if I have to ignore the warnings, what I can do is I can simply say import warnings dot filter warnings, and then say ignore, and there we go. You see, now the warning has been ignored. Now let's see how we can convert string to date time. So here I'm gonna write a heading saying convert string to date time. So here I'm gonna import numpy as np, pandas as pd, and then from date time. So from the datetime module, I'm gonna import the datetime class or datetime method. Now let's create a sample data frame here. So here is a df equals pd dot data frame, and then I'm gonna pass in date values here. Let's say it's 04, 01, 2023, and then 05, 01, 2023, 06, 01, 2023. So here I need to pass this dates as the values inside the date column. So let me first create a date column, and then here it will be a dictionary having key value pairs. And let's say the other column name is patients, and let's say the values are something like 16, 17, 18. Let's run and check. Alright, this gives me an error here. Alright, this is because of the quotation. So the quotation should be like this. And now when I go and check my data frame, this is how my data frame looks like with these dates and patients. So now I want to convert this dates that are in strings to actual date type. So here I say pd dot to underscore date time and then df of date. There we go. You now see the d type here is date time and the name of the column is date. So this is how we can convert the string into date time. Also for this above a data frame, before conversion, I can actually go and check the type of it. So here I do df dot d types and there we go. You see it says it is object. The date column is actually object, meaning it is holding the string values and it is not date time. But now if you see, it has been changed to date and date type. D type here is date time. It's not object though. I can also check the type here by doing df of date, and there we go. You see it says type is pandas.co.series.series. Now let's see how to convert integer to datetime. So I'm gonna say convert integer to datetime, and here I'm gonna say pd dot to underscore datetime, to which I'm gonna pass some value like 14667. This is an integer value. So whenever you're trying to convert integer to datetime, it takes two mandatory arguments. One is the unit, let's say is d, that is days, and the other is origin. So here unit defines if your integer is in terms of number of days, seconds or years, and origin here is the reference point you want to start counting from the units mentioned. So here I say it is units and there should be a quotation here. There we go. You see it actually returns the timestamp. So here the start of Unix or origin is 1st Jan 1970, that is 01/01/1970, 12 a.m. midnight. That is also known as epoch seconds. So here the timestamp displays the date and time 14667 days from the Unix. Now let's have a look at an example of datetime format. So here I say datetime format. So here I say pd dot to underscore date time and then df of date. Before that, let me also go and check what is my df. So I'll go and specify the data frame. There we go. Here my data frame is having these dates, and then I'm gonna say format equals something like your date time format, and let's run and check. So this is the general syntax. Alright, so here I actually need to mention the format. Let's say I want to mention my format as year and then month and then date. Oops. And let's check. Does not match the format. Alright, so what I'll do here is now. Alright, so here the format is actually not correct. The format should be mm and then dd and then yy, and let's see, it says time data does not match format. Okay, all right. So to this format method, I can actually pass the format something like this: percentage m slash percentage d and slash percentage capital Y. And there we go. This is how my output looks like. So here I'm gonna create one more data frame. So here we will be using the custom format. So here I say df1 equals pd dot data frame, and let's pass the date column, specify dates. Let's I'm gonna use the same dates that I've used here. Let me copy this. Now instead of date, I'm gonna name this column as discharged date. And let's change this to some other values. Let's say this is 8, this is 9, and this is 10. And let's say this is 160, 170, 180. And let's say this is patient's ID. So here I'm going to say patient's ID. Now I'm going to say df of discharged. Let's make it discharge underscore date as the column name. Colon, sorry, equals. Here I say pd dot to underscore date time, and the df of column name, that is discharged date, and then specify the format equals quotations, and here I want something like this: y and percentage m and percentage d, and then percentage h, percentage hour minute, percentage second. Now if you notice, in my dates I do not have the time specified, so I'm going to quickly do that. Let's say this is 10, 45, 10, something like 4, 35, 2, and then 6, 30, 50, something like this. And here I missed a bracket, and now let me go and check. So here it says there is an error. Let me quickly go and check. It says at position 0 doesn't match a format specified. So let me go and check. Alright, so here my format should be not year because I haven't mentioned year first. That should be D and capital Y here. And again, this gives me an error saying doesn't match the format. Let me again go and check. Alright, let's check the error now. It says the time that doesn't match format. Okay, yeah, because here this is actually not matching up. And now let's go and check, and let's check our data frame 1, and there we go. You see, we have our own format for date, month, year, along with the time format, that is hour, minute, and second. Now let's go and see how to handle parsing errors. So here I'm gonna write a markdown that says handling parsing errors. Now I'm gonna take the same data frame here. Let's say df1 equals p dot data frame, to which I'll be passing admission date and then specify the date. So here I'm gonna say the dates are, let's say 08/01/2023, and then it's 09/08/2023, and then 10/01/2023. And also let me pass the, let me specify one more column here. Let's say it is patients colon, let's say 10, 11, and 12. And here I'm gonna simply specify X. Alright, so let me just go and do df1 of date equals pd dot to underscore date time, df of date, and then specify day first equals true. So here I'm gonna say day first equals true, and let's check my df1. So there we go. You see, this is actually giving me the value x here because it is actually considering that as a string, right? So I have to handle this. Okay, here I'm gonna specify df of date dot pd, sorry, df of date equals pd to underscore date. So to this date time, I'm gonna specify df as date, and then day first equals true. Also, I can actually pass something like errors equals, either I can specify the value here as course or ignore. Let me just pause ignore and check. So let's go and see. It should be errors, and let me check my data frame now, that is df, and there we go. You see what actually happens here is, oh, this should be data frame 1 and not data df. My bad. Let me now go and check. And or I can simply pass course here. So here I say COER CE and run, and there we go. Now I'll see how to extract date time. So here I'm gonna say extract date time into different columns. So here first I'm gonna create a data frame. So here I say df equals pd dot data frame date column, to which I'm gonna pass values like 482023, 582023, that is 2023, and then 6/8/2023. And then I'm gonna create one more column here. Let's say it's patients. Let's say 11, 12, and 13 are the values for it. So I'm gonna simply do pd of date. I'm gonna convert my date strings to date time by writing to underscore date time and then df of date. So let's see what error it gives. It says Pandas has no attribute date frame. Sorry, this is supposed to be data frame. And let's go and check our, alright, there's another error. It says no date time. Alright, so this should be equals pd dot to date time, and then I can go and check my data frame. So there we go. So now what I want is I want to extract the date, month and year from this date column and then put in another column. Let's do that. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to first create a column for year. So here I say df of year equals df of date dot dt dot year. Here dt is date time. So let me go and check my data frame. There we go. You see here we got the year column that has been extracted from the date column, right? Similarly, I'm going to do for month equals df of date and then dot dt dot month, and you should be seeing the month column. And then let me do it for day. df of day equals df of date dot dt dot day, and there we go. Let's check. You see we have the day as well. So we have successfully extracted year, month and day. We can do a couple of more things here. I can do a week of year. So here I say df of week of year equals df of date dot dd dot week, and let's check our data frame. You see it's give the week of year. Also I can get the day of week by doing, here I say day of week equals df of date and then dot dt dot day of week. Let's go and check the data frame. There we go. Here we got the day of week as well. All right. And now lastly, we can check for the leap year. So here I say leap year equals df of date dot dt dot leap. It should be is leap year, and then there we go. You see it says false because 2023 is not a leap year. So this is how you can extract datetime into different columns. Let's see how to assemble datetime from different columns. So here I'm gonna write a heading that says assemble datetime from different columns. Now let me first create a data frame. Let's say this is df2 equals pd dot data frame let's say the first column I'm going to create is for year. Let's say the year is 2020, 2021, 2022 and then 2023, and then I can pass the value for month. Let's say 1 2 3 4, and then value for day as 6 7 12 16, and I'm gonna do df2 of date equals it should be df2 of date equals pd dot to date time, to which I'm going to pass my df2 again, and then I can simply go and check my df2, and there we go. You see it created a date column with all these specified values 6 1 2020 7 to 2021, And this is 2022 312 and 2023 416. Alright, so this was all about date and time functionality in Pandas. So here we have seen different functions that supports the Pandas data and functionality. So that's all for this session. Hope you enjoyed the session. We'll see you in the next.